Here's how to build a banging drum bus that makes your drums knock and lock in together. Okay, so most producers have this problem where their kick is knocking, their snare is snapping, the hi-hats are grooving, the percussions are moving, but they sound like they're not together. The percussions sound different from the drums. The percussions are having a party on their own. What I want to show you in this video is 6 steps to lock in your drums and get them moving and grooving together in the right pocket. Before I do that though, I want to delve into the problem a little bit more just so we understand what we're dealing with here. Let's say you got your kick is hitting, like I said, your snare is popping, but they're not together. They sound distant, and when you pan them, they sound even further apart. It's like, yo, this drummer has his hi-hats all the way over here. How can he even reach them, right? And the crash and cymbal are way in space. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that they're locked in, that it sounds like the drummer is right in front of your face and the drums are right in your face without having to try to turn everything up. That's going to come with the drum bus. What you do and how you process that is going to determine how hard the drums are knocking, how clean they're knocking, and how in pocket they are together, how they're rocking, I should say. Like I said, you want to make sure that there's cohesion in the drums, that they sound like they're together. This is where we bring in that term glue. You want to glue everything together, and you've heard that before if you listen to engineers talk about, oh, well, we got to make sure this is all glued together. So I'm going to show you how to do that with your drums in this video. So let's get into the steps and help you out so you can get your drums knocking and rocking and locked in. Step number 1 is to route all your drums into one bus. The number 1 reason why we're doing this in the first place is because without this, your listener is not hearing the drums as one unit. Unless you do this, they're going to hear them as separate entities, which is going to cause some kind of, confusion or too much space in between them. And they're not going to be really rocking with the drums like you want them to, right? So create that bus, route your kick, your snare, your hats, your percussions, your loops, everything to the drum bus to make sure that they're all locked in and they're in that one place so you could affect them together. And this is how you're going to bring that glue into there. This is how you're going to glue everything together. Trust me, do this. If you're in your DAW, do this now. As a matter of fact, before we even get into the next step all the way, make sure you're doing this right now while you're watching this video, so I could take you by the hand and walk you through each step so that you could do it. And once you do it this time, you could do it forever. You'll remember how to do this, and you want to do this on all your mixes, trust me. So pause the video real quick, load up your DAW, load a track that you're mixing, and you're going to see this magic happen in real time. So step 2 is add a bus compressor. Add a bus compression, and it could be any compressor. You could even use a stock compressor. You don't have to use any fancy compression plug-in. It don't gotta be no name brand. Just load up your stock compression. So start with a subtle 2-to-1 ratio, and with a slow attack and a medium release. Nothing too crazy. Slow attack, medium release, 2-to-1 ratio. The goal of this is to tame the peaks and catch the transients. Right? We want to add glue. We're not trying to kill the punch. Step number 3, saturate or clip the bus. You can add a saturation plugin, and there's a bunch of them out there. If you don't have one, you can find a free one, I'm sure, online somewhere, or you can just go cop one. It's going to be worth what you spend on it for what it's going to do to your mixes. Trust me. Saturation or a soft clipper. And what this is going to do is it's going to add warmth without you having to boost up the volume and do all of that. It's going to add that warm element to it, and it's going to give your drums a more analog type of feel, an analog vibe to them to get that natural warmth that you're looking for. This is going to add thickness and perceived volume without you turning up the volume. Trust me, do it now. Tip number 4, add an EQ to this bus. So this isn't surgical EQ. We're not getting too surgical. We don't want to kill the character of the drums. We're simply just going to cut or add a shelf. I know you're probably asking, okay, well, what areas of the EQ should I focus on? So for drums, I'm just going to give you some quick tip guidelines real quick, just so you can go off of to get started. So for the low end, right? Between 200 to 400 hertz. That's where the boom of the kick lives. That's where the snare body lives. That's where the room of the reverb can start overlapping. So if your drums sound cloudy or muddy, I would cut anywhere between 1 to 3 dB in that area. So especially around 250 to 300 hertz, because that's where a lot of the mud is going to live. As far as the high end, you could put a high shelf at around, I'd say 7 to 10 kilohertz. This is optional though. If you want your hi-hats to cut through a little bit more, or if your drums feel like dull and lifeless. But if you have cymbals and crashes, I would be very cautious in doing that, because this can make it sound very harsh really quickly. You could also roll off about 30 hertz on the low end to kill all of that muddiness and that extra rumble, low end rumble that you can't hear, that's eating up the headroom. That's gonna make the drums sound clean and knock hard quick. Step number 5, add a parallel compressor. This is where it gets crazy. If you want to add more fatness and thickness without killing the transients, and you want to give it that punch, send this drum bus to a parallel compressor, right? And I'm going to give you some settings real quick that you could dial in for the fatness that I'm talking about. So you want to make sure your ratio is like 8:1, between 8:1 to 20:1, right? And your attack is 5 to 10 milliseconds. Let the transients poke through. You want them to be able to breathe. You don't want to squash them or kill them. Your release, you want to be fast or auto so that it breathes with the groove. Your threshold, you want to make sure it's low enough to get between 10 to negative 20 dB gain reduction, right? This is important. Also, the makeup gain, you want to adjust to taste. So that's going to depend on how much headroom you have and everything, but don't let the parallel bus, this compressor, overpower the main drum bus one, right? You don't want them to be fighting or competing. This is just an added advantage. This is just a support. It's almost like you're stacking an extra element of thickness on top of the thickness that you've already created in the previous steps that we just discussed. Step number 6. Make sure when you're doing this, you're looking for more thick and fatter overall sound, not louder. Sometimes we think that louder is more powerful, but that is a lie. You want to make sure that the drums are hitting and they're knocking in pocket and there's still enough headroom to where they're not distorting. So that's probably the most important tip through all of these, because the other ones don't make sense if you don't adhere to this. Make sure that you're looking for the thickness and the fatness to make sure that your drums are knocking and rocking the right way. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, leave a comment, help me share this with other producers who need this information as well. It helps spread the good karma, and good karma always comes back. So you're going to receive it in the blessing yourself for sharing this information, helping me share this information with the rest of the world. Make sure also you download that Apeshit Rampage plugin. I left a link to it in the comments. It's 100% free. I designed it myself. I think you're going to love the sounds in it. I know you're going to love the sounds in it. And it has a lot of melodic sounds, synths, leads, pads, basses, everything you need to add to this drum fatness that we just talked about. These are the melodies and sounds you want to add to that fat drum track that you've been building up. Okay. Also, to make sure your 808s are hitting, because it doesn't matter if your drums are knocking, your 808s aren't. Make sure you watch this video right here where I show you exactly how to make your 808s knock hard and clean. Okay, I'll catch you on that one.